Thousands of pocket dials a day clog up Toronto's emergency services.
Hello, is somebody there? This is 911.
50% of all 911 calls are no response. How that's affecting the emergency service, why Android phones are more likely to blame, and what you can do to help.
The 26 municipalities that are set to receive these powers are among the largest and fastest growing in our province.
Plus, from Markham to Milton, why some local councillors worry new strong mayor powers will stifle debate and democracy.
I say good riddance. We don't need someone who's full of hate on the team.
And the unhappy send-off from some Jays fans as former relief pitcher Anthony Bass officially becomes a free agent. Hi, good evening. I'm Chris Glover. Thanks for joining us this Friday evening. Many of us are guilty of a pocket dial every now and again, but tonight we are learning about the harm unwanted calls are causing our emergency lines. Toronto police warning there's been a huge increase in accidental 911 calls in recent weeks. Greg Ross gets us started tonight.
Emergency to car, please, fire or ambulance. Hello?
This is audio from an actual pocket dial to 911 in Toronto.
Hello, is somebody there? This is 911.
Since the start of May, Toronto's 911 call center has been receiving thousands of calls like this every day.
50% of 911 calls are no response at this time. We've gone from perhaps 1,000 to potentially 3,600 on one particular day.
911 operators must respond to every one of these calls. They immediately call the number back to confirm whether or not it's an emergency.
It has an impact on our wait times trying to get to each person when you're having back-to-back no responses.
It's not just Toronto that has seen a spike in no response calls in recent weeks. Here in York Region, it's also been a big problem. In fact, in the month of May, York Region saw a 79% increase in these types of accidental calls versus the same time last year.
A 79% increase was a massive jump. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that in terms of how significant that increase was.
It's not a problem exclusive to Toronto and York Region, or even the GTA for that matter. It's a global problem.
My understanding is that Android phones had an update that can cause an increase in these accidental calls to 911s.
That update included a feature that allows users to press a button on the side of their phone 5 times to quickly call 911. And while that can be helpful, it can also be turned off in the phone's settings.
If people aren't aware that the update even happened, they're not looking to change the settings in their phone.
iPhones also have this feature, but it hasn't been as significant of an issue for dispatchers. Police say that Android phone manufacturers are taking steps to help mitigate the problem. They say it's also important for users to be aware of the issue to avoid these types of accidental calls.
We really just want some awareness. I mean, we know these are all accidental. We know there's no intention behind it, but the volume has been substantial.
We want to make sure those lines are free for the people that really, really need our help.
Police say if you realize that you've accidentally called 911, instead of hanging up, they would prefer that you stay on the line and notify the operator that it was an unintentional call. That will avoid having the operator call you back. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
To Brampton now, where a woman has died following a multi-vehicle collision late this afternoon.
Preliminary information that we have right now is that the white vehicle that you can see behind me was exiting the plaza and was struck by an eastbound commercial motor vehicle. Once on scene, officers found a female, an adult female, that was unfortunately deceased.
The crash happened shortly after 4 p.m. at the intersection of Kennedy Road and Steeles Avenue. According to paramedics, a man and a woman were taken to hospital in serious but stable condition. Roads in the area were closed for several hours tonight for this ongoing investigation. And staying in Peel Region, police are now warning the public to watch out for any packaging or labels identifying sodium nitrate. The warning comes more than a month after a Mississauga man was arrested for allegedly selling the toxic substance online. Police released a video today urging the public to also look out for hoods or masks that could be used to cause self-harm.
We are concerned that members of the community are in possession of these items and ask everyone to be vigilant of any online transactions made by your loved ones from these noted companies. If you or someone you know received a package containing the described items from these businesses or have information about an incident, please contact your local police service.
Kenneth Law was charged on May 2nd with 2 counts of counseling or aiding suicide after an investigation into 2 recent deaths in Peel. 11 police services from across the province, including Toronto, are now involved in a joint investigation into Law's case. He remains in custody while waiting on a bail hearing and denies the allegations against him. Mississauga and Brampton are just 2 of the 26 Ontario municipalities where the Ford government is expanding strong mayor powers. The introduction of strong mayor powers in Toronto and Ottawa late last year fueled lots of controversy, and tonight we are seeing a repeat of some of that. Talia Ricci has more on the reasons behind today's announcement from the government and the reaction to it.
Housing Minister Steve Clark said the move to expand strong mayor powers is intended to help regions get shovels in the ground faster and deliver on the province's goal to build 1.5 million homes by 2031.
The 26 municipalities that are set to receive these powers are among the largest and fastest growing in our province.
A few of those cities include Markham, Milton, Whitby, and Brampton. Clark says the powers were extended to every community that enacted a housing pledge, but the minister wouldn't say if all 26 mayors actually want to use the strong mayor powers.
And all 3 levels of government need to roll up their sleeves and get some stuff done.
If I went to a resident and said that the power of a mayor is no different than a city councillor, they'd be shocked. And so, if anything, this aligns the powers of mayor of what the understanding of residents is.
Last fall, Toronto and Ottawa were both given strong mayor powers, which includes allowing mayors to propose housing-related bylaws and pass them with the support of only 1/3 of councillors, and to override council approval of bylaws that would prevent the creation of more homes. Strong mayors also have the responsibility of preparing and tabling their city's budget instead of council. At the time of the original announcement, 15 Toronto City councillors asked the province to scrap the bill, saying that council and residents should be the ones to decide on any changes to the governance of the city. Today, more councillors shared those concerns.
I wish there was more consultation, and we're already agreeing to the objectives for the province. We're building thousands of houses at Whitby. We're expanding our things, so we're achieving their objectives. So I question why we need these powers.
It's concerning, like we're all elected by the people to be their voice on council.
We do need to get more housing built, but that being said, that shouldn't negate the fact that healthy debate, discussion, and ultimately majority of council choosing to support or oppose a certain development is still very much needed.
The announcement also sparked criticism from the NDP.
This is not about housing. This is a power grab. This is about Doug Ford overriding majority vote governance in our municipalities, and that is frightening.
The heads of those 26 cities are set to get the new powers as of July 1st. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
A balmy 18 degrees tonight under clear skies as we look live at the skyline. Victor Paolo joining us now with the first look at the weather forecast. And Victor, not a bad way to end the work week, hey?
Happy Friday, Chris. And when it comes to the weather for the GTA and what we're expecting for the weekend and Father's Day weekend, we got nothing but great news. Once we get through the scattered thunderstorms for the region tonight, we're going to be feeling a nice sunny stretch when it comes to the temperature. And it's going to be a bit warm with the humidex, but not too warm. But that's one thing we could look forward to when it comes to the near future. Average high this time of year is 23.8, and the average low is 12 degrees. Now, taking a look at the radar to see exactly what it is we can be expecting, you do see that when it comes to the surrounding areas, when it comes to tomorrow morning, it's going to be clear skies. It's going to be nothing but sunshine coming our way through. Fast forward to what it's going to look like right around noon, come towards Saturday into Sunday. Again, consistent theme is clear skies, and we're not expecting much precipitation. Now, looking at our 3-day for what we can expect, 24 degrees is going to be our high, and 15 will be our average low. We're in store for a great Father's Day weekend. Stay tuned for the rest of the 7-day, and we talk next. Back to you, Chris.
Loving it. Thank you, Victor.
We're the perfect venue for it, you know. We have drag, sharks, cocktails. It's the perfect spot to celebrate Pride.
And here's something else to love. This is the scene at Ripley's Aquarium tonight, hosting their annual night at the aquarium. As Pride Month celebrations continue right across this city, as you can see, the aquarium transformed into an underwater rainbow wonderland filled with lights, music, a dance floor, and drag performances. A now former Jays pitcher at the center of an anti-LGBTQ backlash is now officially a free agent. The Toronto Blue Jays former relief pitcher Anthony Bass became a free agent as of today. Now, last month, you'll remember the pitcher apologized after sharing an anti-queer post on social media. That apology, though, not enough to drown the outcry against him. Tyler Cheese has that story tonight.
The saga of Anthony Bass and the Toronto Blue Jays has officially ended. And these members of a local LGBTQ+ softball league aren't sad to see him go.
I say good riddance. We don't need someone who's full of hate on the team. It's too bad because he's not a bad player. Will someone else pick him up? Maybe not. Like, I don't think people want that on their team.
So I don't blame them for making the decision. But I'm kind of happy at how much of an impact it made, how people paid attention, and it mattered to people.
This is evil. This is demonic. We won't stand for it. We're not going to go to the stores anymore.
The controversy started when Bass shared this video calling for a boycott of brands that support the LGBTQ+ community. He later apologized.
I made a post that was hurtful to the Pride community, which includes friends of mine and close family members of mine, and I am truly sorry for that.
But that apology seems to have come too little too late. Bass was designated for assignment last Friday, just hours before the Jays hosted the first of 2 Pride Weekend games at the Rogers Centre.
In the end, I think it was properly handled.
Many are applauding the team's management of the situation.
It's a great thing that sports have embraced diversity and equal rights, and there's consequences for being prejudiced. If you have issues with any race, religion, sexual orientation, there's going to be consequences to that, and there should be.
But he says if Bass was a better player, the situation might have been different.
The sad reality is if players are very, very good, they seem to find a way, and people forget about the fact that certain players are intolerant. He's not nearly as good as he was at one point earlier in his career. So I don't think he has much of a future.
Back at this Toronto Diamond, these athletes say it feels like the sports world is finally starting to embrace people from all walks of life.
It is changing. We get to do this publicly. This isn't something we could do for a long time, and so I think slowly it is.
CBC reached out to the Blue Jays for comment but did not receive a response in time for broadcast. Tyler Cheese, CBC News.
Welcome back. Country-style Hungarian restaurant has attracted people from across Canada to its annex location for 6 decades. And this summer, it will be serving its last schnitzel. Anam Khan has more on its legacy.
This is the country-style Hungarian restaurant, a fixture in the annex. After the Second World War, tens of thousands of Hungarian refugees fled to Canada.
The annex became a home for many of them, and this restaurant, a place of comfort.
Caitlin Koltai spent much of her time consoling customers this week. They've heard the news. She's retiring.
It's mean everything, because they coming with the family for years and years and years. They were on university. Now they bring their grandchild, grandchild, everybody. 62 years, 61 years is a long time.
Koltai came to Canada in 1971. After 5 years working at a bank, she took on a waitress job at the restaurant and eventually bought the place. She was the 3rd owner running it for 23 years, even after much of the Hungarian community moved away.
I grew up on Hungarian food. I only eat Hungarian food.
But it's the schnitzel that draws people.
They're crazy about the schnitzel. I should open up something only for takeout, just schnitzel, and I would live on that.
Here we have a schnitzel. We had the Parisian schnitzel before, coleslaw and cucumber salad, beet salad, cabbage rolls, dumplings, fried potatoes, Diet Cokes.
And how is it?
It's delicious, yeah. It's a lot of food.
Her customers have been coming here for decades.
I was at the U of T in the late 60s, early 70s. I used to come here because it was, cheap eats and the food was fantastic.
How long have you been coming here for?
About 30 years. I'm not even sure how we discovered this place. It's been so long, but it's just, the food is incredible. It's like it's going to be the saddest day in history when this place closes.
Makes you feel good on a cold day, or just warms you.
Koltai's restaurant was one of the first Hungarian restaurants on Bloor Street and is the last one standing. After cooking and managing the restaurant for years, she wants to focus on the next stage of her life.
I'm not happy because I'm still going to miss it so much, but you have to get out one day. You cannot work 70 years in your life.
Koltai's next plan is to travel back to Hungary to spend some time with her family. Country Style will close on August 1st and will be replaced by a Vietnamese restaurant. Adam Khan, CBC News, Toronto.
Now to a special guest at a Toronto high school today. Raptors president Masai Ujiri helped commemorate the Day of the African Child, a day that remembers the young South Africans who lost their lives in a protest for better education. Ali Chiasson has the story.
Toronto Raptors president Masai Ujiri is taking a tour of the TDSB's Center of Excellence in Black Student Achievement at Winston Churchill Collegiate.
I would like to introduce Mr. Masai Ujiri.
The co-founder of Giants of Africa is here to give a lecture on the importance of education. The man deserves a certain level of respect.
Now quiet.
And to a crowd of high schoolers, he knows how to get it.
You know Drake is my boy, right? So if you get this right, maybe I might introduce you guys to Drake. Huh? Okay. I grew up just like you guys. Imagine I was 16, 17, 18-year-old, just like you guys. And I find myself being the vice chairman and president of the Toronto Raptors. Education was a key to everything that created this path for all of us and will create this path for you.
Today is the International Day of the African Child, which commemorates the youth uprising in Soweto in 1976, where hundreds of people lost their lives fighting for their education.
The apartheid system, it was designed to keep the African spirit, the African children, African people, and particularly there, subjugated and oppressed. And because of an inspiration, because of protests, because of civil disobedience and courage of youth, in 2023, we're now celebrating this and putting it into an international educational setting, connected with Masai Ujiri, and there's no limits to what the youth can do afterwards.
And we're going to inspire students to do their best and to engage in action and take their ownership of their own education moving forward.
So today's day truly embodies student voice and student power. And Masai mentioned a quote talking about Africa is now. And from that presentation, I was able to understand the fact that us as youth have to fight now. We cannot wait and ponder for others to fight for our rights, but instead we must fight for our own.
Imagine the full circle.
The power to empower each other and yourself.
Masai told us that everyone in the room is brilliant.
I really plead to you to find your brilliance at a young age. And when you do, the sky is the limit.
So I think that we're all worth more than we think.
Ali Chiasson, CBC News.
Clear skies and warm temperatures are coming our way. Victor Paulo is back with a look at the long-range forecast. And Victor, a beauty Father's Day weekend ahead.
Chris, when it comes to our Father's Day weekend, it's going to be a nice one here in the Greater Toronto area. But if we do take a bit of a look at the map of North America for what a couple of trends are, you do see down here in the south of North America, it is hot, as it is 35 down in Dallas. But let's move our way over to central Ontario. Over here earlier in the week, it was more of a green color as such. But as you do see, it's warming up with the yellow, the darker yellow around the GTA and Toronto area. And that is why we're going to be experiencing mid-20s when it comes to just a touch above seasonal, but not too warm. And even with the humidity, it's only going to feel closer to 27 degrees. Not too hot, but not too cold. But we do see our radar to see exactly what it's going to look like. As you do see Saturday, no rain in store, which is a great sign for those that have indoors to be out, have plans to be outdoors, or plans to take part of all of the beautiful activities happening in the area. As well as when it comes to Sunday, just to start the day, it's going to be a clear sky day. It's not going to get too warm to start the day in the morning. By the time we get to noon, midday, should be feeling closer to 25 degrees with all that humidity. Now, right around 4 o'clock, when it comes to Sunday, you do see there's going to be a bit of scattered showers, but nothing to write home about. A couple areas might get a bit of a drop here, a bit of a drop there, but you do see there's no thunder showers associated with them. Looking at our 3-day forecast, as mentioned, it's going to be 24 degrees, feeling like 27 on Sunday, as well as Monday. It's going to be a 24-degree day, feeling like 27. Now, I'd just like to note when it comes to the overnights, it's not going to be too warm. It's not going to be too cool. A nice 13-degree overnight for Saturday, 15 degrees for Sunday, and Monday is going to be a nice 16. Now, looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as you do see, it's going to start to heat up. It's going to be hot in the 6s, but 24 degrees is what's going to be on Tuesday, feeling like 28, 26 on Wednesday, feeling like 31. 26 on Thursday, feeling like 32. And how about that Friday with that 28 feeling like 34? It's going to be glorious here in the GTA for the upcoming weather. Now, I hope you all have a great Father's Day weekend. I hope you all enjoy the beautiful weather. But until then, back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Victor. You have a great weekend as well. Very excited to share this last one with you. Our very own Dwight Drummond was honored today at Toronto Metropolitan University.
Some of you, this degree is a first for your family. For others, it is a continuation of a family tradition. Either way, you've gone through a metamorphosis here at TMU. Celebrate this transformative moment in your life. You've worked hard to achieve this, and you should be proud of your accomplishment.
Dwight there speaking to the graduating class of 2023 at the Mattamy Athletic Center at TMU. As part of the ceremony, he received an honorary Doctor of Laws degree. He originally graduated with the RTA School of Media back in 1991, and he went on to work in broadcast media for over 30 years, including, of course, right here at CBC Toronto. And right now, he is anchoring Canada Tonight on CBC News Network. And he's a great mentor and a great friend. Congratulations to Dwight. We're all very proud of you, my friend. And that is our show for you tonight and for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Shannon Martin has your next local newscast tomorrow at 6, and I'll see you back here